Fitted the boot, or should I say trunk. I'll stick with boot. So put the hinges on and the lock and the seal and those little clips, brackets that are going to hold the back edge of the soft top. The lock is new, so you can still buy the correct style with this little cover, keyhole. One of the reasons I put this on is so I could, because I've got a new boot seal. The rubber seal seemed to be holding the boot a little high, so I wanted to put this on fairly early so it would compress. So there's the underside of the lock. This piece is removed from the old one because the new one didn't come with that part, it came with a different shape. And this shape, I'll show how it catches on the edge to hold the boot down, but it sort of gets in, the rubber gets in the way of the mechanism, so you have to pull the rubber to get it to clear. And I remember the old rubber has got a tear, or it's damaged in this area, I think for the same reason really. So I'll get the old rubber and just show that as well. These are the profiles, so this is the new one on the left, don't think about that, and the old one on the right. Now you can see it's not bad, just turn it so it catches the light, and of course the old one will have got deformed over the years. I would say the new one is ever so slightly taller above where it's going to be pushed onto the edge, so that's why I needed to put a boot lid on, so that this will get sort of take on a permanent deformation. It seems to be working, so I think the new boot seal is reasonable. It's just annoying that I imagine it's going to end up getting damaged like this one, but that could well be just how it was. So I'll just have to be careful with it, try and pull it out of the way when I shut the boot. So when I close the boot, the lock ends up crashing into the rubber seal. So to do it, I have to pull this out of the way as it's dropping down, and then it can drop past, and then you can turn the lock, and even then I think it's catching the underside of that rubber seal. This is the boot stay. It's a piece of wire attached to this bracket, which is held in place by the bolts that, or screws that hold the hinge in place. So let's look underneath. Hopefully you can see that. There's a couple of spare screws on this side and a little bracket which is going to hold a piece of rubber strip that comes across and that just supports the cant rails when they're packed away. It uses a couple of bobbins, so these are bobbins that are moulded into the fiberglass body, either with threads or just with plain holes. And Lotus obviously decided they could utilise them for this boot stay. So it's a piece of wire that's just bent around and loops back round. So if I push the boot down, you'll see it has to force the wire open. So it's just the springiness of that wire that allows it to stay open. Quite cunning. Anyways, there. And the fit is pretty good. I'm happy in terms of whether it's proud. Too much light now. whether it's proud of the rest of the body, it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but by the time you're away and with that gap, I think it's acceptable. Just a little bit raised on the edge, but really when you're away from the car and standing next to it, you don't notice it. So it's good, I think. I've put a little rubber bung in the aerial hole for now. Can worry about that later. Those are the hinges. I've got this unique shape. So this shape here on the leading edge is where the hard top sits. When you put the hard top on, whether these actually hold it, we'll find out, because I do have a hard top to go on this eventually. These are unique to this car, Series 1 and 2 Elans. These are the originals that have been re-chromed. I have seen some replacement versions which look pretty copy.